My name is Francisco. This is research that I did when I was doing my master like 2 weeks ago. This Monday I will start a PhD. Crazy, completely insane. This is about the relation of the urban production and the political in some way. My study case is relocated in Chile. Well, Bernadette already talked about it. Why Chile? Because Chile is located in the Ring of Fire, that is this area. That is a place where you can find more seismic activity in the world. Well, Chile actually, this line, very light. The environmental hazards are an everyday component of Chilean life. A crazy geography, how we call it, in which the rain comes with floods, volcanic activities destroy cities, and earthquakes are dangerous only if they are over 7 degrees Richter. Considering that in the last 100 years, more than 9 million of citizens were severely affected by environmental hazards, you can suppose that Chilean politicians have very accurate plans to face these events. Well, the reality is that the preparation of politicians to face these events has not been really positive, especially when it refers to earthquakes. Therefore, it could be interesting to review what are the political consequences of this lack of preparation. As you see, there is a politician who actually didn't have a plan. This table shows the six more intense earthquakes in the last 100 years in Chile. And it also shows that in 5 of these events, the political party that was ruling the country lost the next election. The only exception was in 1938, because the president died when he was ruling the country. In 1985, a Mega-Seismic event occurred in the central area of Chile, an earthquake of 7.8 Richter, rumbled Santiago, Rancagua, Valparaiso, and other small cities, and several damages and destruction characterized the days. This was the president, our Hitler, that is Pinochet, if you don't know him. He was very arrogant when he was president. He always was saying that was the best option for the people. But the people felt abandoned by him after the earthquake. In that abandon, the people started to organize themselves within the communities. They started to encourage the collectivism, discussing the repression of Pinochet dictatorship, and a collective sense of people reborn between Chileans, and Pinochet prestige was weaker than ever. Some historians say that the lack of governmental support to affected families was a vital component of the defeat of Pinochet in the plebiscite of 1988. Because people that still had a bit of faith in his policies saw that he was an incompetent before a real disaster. The consequence, he lost the plebiscite in 1988 to determine if he should continue in the government, and then in 1989, the right wing that supported Pinochet lost the election. In the image, this is Patricio Aylwin, the first democratic president after 17 years. The second case was very interesting characteristic. It is referred to the earthquake occurred in 2010 with a magnitude of 8.8. Bernadette already talked about it. And with a tsunami that destroyed almost a big part of the country. In this case, the government already had a plan. This is the Chilean president, this guy, Sebastián Piñera, jumping from one rubble to another. He fell, as you see, after this jump, without helmet, without protection, being reckless, a symptom of his 3 years of government. The earthquake of 2010 was the one with the broadest wave of destruction that have been registered in Chile. It affected 6 regions on the territory and some islands as well. The devastation was mainly produced by tsunamis rather than the quakes. As you see, there is a guy raising the flag. The progress of reconstruction has been very impressive. 93% of the progress is already done. And 65% of the buildings are reconstructed already. That is impressive in 3 years. To compare, in 1985, in the earthquake, Pinochet government just invest $34 million in the reconstruction. This government invest $19 billion in the reconstruction. So the numbers are very broad, very impressive. Everything should be very nice for the President Piñera, but just 31% of the population approve him. That is a contradiction, because he's doing a very good job in numbers about people, about rebuild the houses, about recover livelihoods, but as you can see, just 31% approve him. And other point is that 75% of the population think that the next government will be the political antagonist of Piñera, who is Michelle Bachelet. 75%. A guy who rebuilt the country in 3 years, as Bernadette showed, is 12 million people were affected for this earthquake, and now everything is against him. Why? Well, the question is hard to respond, but I have an hypothesis, and it's related with the attitude of this president and his government. For example, in this phrase, he said when he started government, in 20 days we did more than in 20 years, referring to the left wing. The arrogance, again, in the expectation that he creating the people, are playing against him. He said that they're gonna rebuild the best houses in the history for the people, but at the end the houses weren't as good as the people was expecting. Sorry, I passed for 10 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you.